Welcome to episode 66 of Mine EX-Plorers. We're over a year now of doing an episode every week. Well over a year.
Yeah, pretty consistent.
We've missed 2 weeks in a year.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a 90-something%
Not bad.
rate. So consistency pays off, you know, something like this, like you really stick to it, you get better, get more engaging, get more interesting, I hope. The numbers say we are, but you know, we start from a pretty small pool because it's a real niche industry, but we appreciate everybody who watches regularly.
It's a niche industry, but it affects everybody on the planet in
Yep.
one way, shape, or another.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's absolutely the backbone of economy is farming, ranching, logging, mining.
If it can't be grown, it must be mined.
Yeah.
That's what we're in. Yeah, and the consistency is important. Just a little quick bragging for me. I just finished my very first marathon, and being consistent is absolutely critical for success.
Yep.
So I started training in January, and I missed 2 days of training.
Wow.
Yeah. And the days that I missed were very light days, like 2 miles or 3 miles.
Yeah.
So I got all of my big runs in, and I stayed consistent throughout my whole program.
So how many miles did you run training for your marathon?
450.
So you ran 450 miles to be able to perform well for the 26 miles.
Yep.
That's exactly encapsulates consistency.
Yep.
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 Before you show up to the big game. I mean, I don't know what the ratio is, but I imagine for like NFL players, for every 1 minute of game they play, they probably practice hundreds of minutes, if not hours.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's quite the accomplishment. I'm really happy with myself. My time was great, so it was fun.
Cool.
And
Congratulations.
I completed that on Saturday, and today I can actually walk a couple days later. So
There you go. Well, we went for a little jog last night.
yeah, it was a little painful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. I mean, if you're not sore, you're not doing it right, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good. It's a Boston qualifier marathon, and she did well. She did.
I did not qualify for the Boston. Let's
No,
be clear.
no. I'm just saying it is a qualifier, so it's a serious marathon. It's not a.
It is a serious marathon. It is one of our most popular marathons
Right.
in the state.
Yeah.
I think they maxed out at like 6,000 runners,
Yeah,
which
you
is
would have had
incredible.
to shave an hour.
An hour.
To qualify for the Boston Marathon.
Yeah. For my age group, it's 3:30.
Wow.
Yeah, and I finished in 4:30, which was great for me
Yeah.
as a first-time runner.
4:29. Yeah.
First-time marathon runner.
No, I mean, that's fantastic. That's a good pace. And yeah, consistency. So consistency in the show, consistency in exercise, consistency in business.
And in life, all of
Yeah.
that. Yep. No,
And that doesn't
pays
mean
off.
it's easy. Consistency is not easy because there's all sorts of things that get in the way.
No, my gosh, it's not easy at
No.
all.
No.
No, I mean, it's just discipline.
What about you, Blue? Do you have any consistency?
I mean, he naps pretty consistently.
It's kind of consistently a turd.
I don't
Not to
think so.
you. Cool. Well, moving on, let's throw in some mining news. What's going on?
Yeah, so quick update. So Utah, we are looking at getting a massive data center in Box Elder County. That has been approved for
Yeah.
the first stage. I'm not quite sure what the first phase is. They haven't quite explained that yet, but it's going to be 40,000 acres. If all goes to plan, require massive amounts of power, and they're looking at acquiring private water. And their water source, they claim, is not suitable for irrigation or drinking. So, and they're claiming the closed circuit again.
Yeah, so if they can use brine, and I know brine's highly corrosive, but if they can use brine, there's a lot of brine in Box Elder County, and they can literally just recirculate it back into the aquifer.
Right.
And then they're not actually consuming any of it. They could have a closed loop system. And that brine, there's hundreds of millions of acre feet of brine.
With it being
under the
such
valley.
a low snowpack year and the Salt Lake has been slowly drying up, anytime anybody wants water rights, it causes a fuss no matter where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, the West is essentially on fire right now and dry.
Yeah, so
it's a bad combination.
The timing is not great. If it was a flooding year or something else, but the power concerns are interesting. So I wonder, I know part of the big plan is they're going to have their own generators and they're going to run on natural gas primarily. I think there's some solar involved too. I wouldn't be surprised. We have a lot of natural gas. In fact, Utah and Wyoming generate so much we flare it off because we generate more than we consume most of the year.
Right.
So that capacity can be greatly increased in the Uinta Basin, in the Powder River Basin. So I don't think that's as much of an issue, but there's definitely going to need to be pipelines, infrastructure, jobs,
it'd
things
be
like that.
It'd be great development for the county, but again, like any type of major infrastructure or change, you have to make sure it just makes sense.
People are fighting AI and data centers. I've noticed there's a pretty clear bifurcation, and I use that word a lot. I don't know if it's the right word, but there's a clear split. Older people who are in mid to late stages of their careers tend to be very pro AI because it's making the later years of their careers easier and they're able to leverage their knowledge and experience more effectively with AI.
Yeah.
Younger people, especially people graduating college now in very expensive degrees and things that are very threatened by AI, see it more as a threat than an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I saw an article the other day that breaks it down pretty clearly that there's only really 3 viable paths for college graduates these days in a lot of fields. 1, blue collar, go be an electrician, a plumber, work with your hands. Trades. Those aren't going anywhere. 2, become an AI master, because some people still need to develop and build the AI and run the AI. So become very, very skilled with AI and you'll still have a job. And 3 is become an entrepreneur, because AI unlocks an insane amount of opportunities for entrepreneurs, and it makes every other type of business potentially easier to run, especially if you're younger, you understand technology, you can implement it. But those are really only the 3 options for a lot of these people graduating.
Sam Altman made a quote or a statement a while ago saying that AI creates the ability for a $1 billion solo entrepreneur.
Yep.
So one person has now the resources and the technology to create a $1 billion company.
I believe it.
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, we had a great interview. If you didn't see our interview last week with Jim Reed from Rockware, who worked at NASA, who discovered the largest talc deposit in the world, who discovers graves and has helped solve multiple cold cases. Very interesting interview, highly worth going back to watch. But he told us towards the end of the interview, which was a real cliffhanger and teaser for another episode, that he uses 4 dedicated AI agents. And he told me before he has them running on their own computers, and they just help him code and build software all day.
Wow.
So his personal output, because he's at the end of his career, he has all that knowledge and experience, he's getting maximum leverage with the AI. So with that said, kind of looping it back around and tying it in, a lot of these younger people who are really kind of rallying against AI and it's invalidating their degrees, education, all this debt they've racked up, they are also very against data centers. The same NIMBY crowd that's showing up against mines is showing up against data centers.
Yeah,
mass.
It'll be interesting to see how the data center groups handle that.
Yeah.
And how they work to change perspective.
So far, they're handling it about as well as the mining industry does. Which
well,
is
they have a lot more leverage.
poorly to okay.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great. They really do need to keep good on their promises.
Yep. They keep good on their promises. They need to be able to point to examples of,
Yeah.
hey, here's a data center that's run for years. Here's the economic input. Here's the actual power and water consumption. But present it in a way that's not just numbers and figures. Because people go, oh, 4 gigawatts, that's a massive amount of power. And it is. But they could be, you say, you know, it's the equivalent of 30,000 homes or 50,000 homes or whatever. And it generates this much GDP compared to that.
Right. Well, and they also need to create trust within what they say.
Right.
Because I mean, that's the thing that everyone's been sold like a story, but if you don't follow through on your story, then it just sucks for everybody, right?
And celebrate the wins. So when you're in any sort of NIMBY situation and you go into production and you are there, don't just consider your zoning change or your permitting approval or water rights approval or whatever as a win and then just move on and forget about it. Keep up that community engagement and use that for your next project to go, well, look what we've done here and look how we've taken care of everyone and look at the impact.
I think the construction aggregate sector actually does really well with that because they have to get community engagement from the very beginning when they start their permitting process or even, whatever, the very beginning of their program.
Yep.
And they always, well, I shouldn't say always, but from what I've seen, they make it a point to figure out how to give back to the local community, whether it's like putting in a park, or
sponsoring the local T-ball,
or saying, hey, when this quarry is
Little
done,
League.
it's going to look like this. And so people understand like, hey, this isn't just some like scar you're going to have on a mountainside. It's actually going to benefit the community throughout the entire duration of the program, of the mine. So I think that would be really helpful. I mean, honestly, in the metals market could use that too, right? Of showing local community like, hey, we're going to give back to our community and so it's like you're going to benefit from this as well. We're not just going to make millions and take all your resources and do what everyone else has done before you. We're going to make it better. So.
And I think largely they're doing that. You just don't hear about it. It doesn't get a lot of press coverage.
It doesn't get a lot of press
Nobody
coverage.
really pops in to cover the positives. They cover the negatives extensively. But
yes.
like if you asked, I'm sure like Resolution, for example, has a post-reclamation plan and a long-term plan. They can show you. They have a PowerPoint. They've given it to lots of people. They can show you what the plan is. They can show you what the impact is, all that. But, it's still new. We're still learning all this and going through it. I mean, I still go out. I've been out prospecting a lot lately, which might be a good segue into our next bit. But I see a lot of open cuts and open pits and shafts and stuff from the 80s and 90s.
I know, wide open.
That weren't reclaimed and nothing was done. And so we're really, the mining industry has a lot to catch up.
We have a lot to catch up on.
But similarly, like the data centers and stuff like that. And when you say, hey, I'm building a data center for AI, and AI has a greater than equal chance of destroying humanity, that's a hard sell too. Because even the experts and the greatest proponents of AI are also pretty quick to warn that there's massive dangers associated with it. So, I mean, the NIMBY fear from a kind of an existential point of view is
it's valid. No, it's definitely valid. But let's talk about exploration. Like,
cool.
You have this cool rock here. You have this big light. What are we looking at?
Shortwave UV lights are hard to find, and they're expensive, and they're not very bright. Long-wave UV lights are plentiful, and they're all over. You can order them on Amazon Prime, get one 2 days later. You can buy one at Walmart. Shortwave is tough. So I went to a company called Ingenious Designs, and they custom make the lights. And obviously custom making, they have suppliers and things. So it took me a couple of months to get these. So I'm very excited. Well, about a month and a half, but a long time. So I'm very excited to get these significantly brighter than the other UV lights. So I've been going out and looking for Scheelite, which is a tungsten mineral, contains a lot of tungsten. And Scheelite it glows very brightly under shortwave UV light, but not at all under longwave. So you can see all these white specks here. This is all Scheelite. So this is good high grade, probably 5% Scheelite. Maybe 3 or 4%, but pretty high grade.
It's so pretty.
And you can see how bright it glows, and some of these big specks of Scheelite. But it's amazing because you can actually see them under this shortwave light.
With all of these other lights on.
With all these other lights on, but with my old shortwave light,
you would be able
the light, it had to be completely dark to see anything. So
makes prospecting in the daylight difficult.
But I really like prospecting for tungsten. It's a critical mineral. It's very interesting. The United States would like to build a domestic supply, but I personally really like prospecting for it because it glows. So the rock itself is not terribly interesting. It's generally hosted in skarns. It will extend into some of the limestones and marbles. This is a limestone, but it's generally found along contacts between granite and limestone where it fills in skarns. But being able to actually take a shortwave and find it makes it a lot of fun to prospect for. So
yeah, because you look at this rock on the ground and be like, that's probably not super interesting.
It is heavy. It's definitely got some weight to it.
Yeah, that is a good tail sign.
Seeing it glow definitely makes it exciting. But cool lights, custom, I'm excited to have those. So bring back a little bit of show and tell, which we did in some of our early episodes.
Yeah, but I mean, let's talk about exploration, because that's just been super fun. Like, we're seeing a lot of excitement in the industry with companies wanting to explore, find new commodities, and then we're seeing it in our own personal project generation of just going out and finding stuff.
Yep.
What do you like about exploration?
Well, I like exploration because it's really, and this is cliche and I've heard it from a lot of people, it's like a treasure hunt.
It is a treasure
hunt.
hunt.
I've never been interested in going out and finding like old Spanish treasure and things like that, which are prevalent legends in Utah, that we have old lost mines, lost roads, gold mines, and lost Spanish treasures and different things. And a lot of people are excited by that and they go out and hunt. But for me, finding minerals that have economic value is just as fun, but it's got the whole nother thing. Like, you notice I said economic value. So even just regular sand in the right areas is treasure.
Absolutely.
So it's not just what you find, it's what you find and where you find it. And then you layer on top our patchwork of complex land situations in the West, where we have state land and federal land and private land, and
private
all
surface.
Sorts of other things, private surface, public minerals, minerals, private surface, on and on and on. Navigating all that, plus the economics, plus actually the geology, figuring out where everything is, I think it's exciting to me. It's a big puzzle.
It is a big puzzle.
And I love doing it for our clients. It's fun to do on my own. But the other side of it is you get to validate it. So we're fortunate where we have the team and the network and the connections where we can actually take a project from concept. We look at the geology, we look at the desktop, and we say, hey, this tungsten skarn continues in this other direction. We should go look at that. And we go out there, we can find an outcrop, we can do mapping and sampling and look at the geophysics, maybe do some of our own geophysics, generate a drill target, drill, actually build a resource, and we can be involved in the entire process. Where most people are just involved in bits and pieces of it, we get to see it out. So it's that consistency thing again. It requires a lot of patience, and you have to wait. I have a project right now I'm really itching to get drilled, but all the drilling contractors are super busy right now. So I'm not going to be able to get a core rig till this summer. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there on day one. I'm going to watch the first core come out of the ground. I'm going to be standing there with my UV light, with a blanket over my head, waiting to look at all the rest of the core that comes out. Those are some of the things I love about exploration.
No, it's fun. It's
How about you?
Dynamic.
For sure.
It's so dynamic. I mean, not every day is the same day, right? Which can make it challenging and kind of exhausting at the same time. But it does keeps you on your toes, and it keeps the engagement high.
And one of the other challenges is it's not consistent.
It's
not a consistent, steady workload. It's like, we got 20 projects, we got 30 projects, we got 50 projects, we have 2 projects. We have 5 projects.
We make hay while the
sun
shines.
30 projects, we have 4 projects.
Yep.
I saw you publish a really great Burgex newsletter. You publish a public-facing one that goes out to our clients and colleagues.
Yep.
You publish a mineralocity newsletter, and then you publish an internal Burgex team newsletter. I looked at our Burgex team newsletter last night. I had to borrow Amanda's because for some reason I don't actually get it.
Oh no.
Or it goes to my spam,
It
which
probably
is
goes
stupid.
to spam.
I need to train that one to go to my main inbox. But we had 92 inquiries for projects last month.
That's insane.
in April.
Insane.
92 different inquiries.
It is insane. We remember this time last year, our pipeline was getting really thin because prices weren't high. People weren't excited. We were getting a little nervous. And now it's a complete 180.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, how do we keep the team as happy as we can, engaged, not driving burnout, adding more staff to help with the workflow. I'm also looking for a permitting and GIS specialist, by the way.
Yeah, permitting and GIS would be ideal if you know GIS. But really, and even permitting, you don't need to have any experience. But we need somebody with an extreme attention to detail, who's a good team fit, that's trainable, and we will teach you permitting.
We'll teach you everything you need to know.
And it's a pathway to eventually become a landman, which is a fantastic career, and we're going to need so many more in the future.
Oh my gosh, there is such a deficit in landman.
And there's no school for landman.
It is all training.
It is all training. It's all on-the-job training. It's all experience.
I say that it takes to train a landman from 0 to like 85% knowledge base, it takes about a year. So it is a huge investment on our part.
But we have that position open, no degrees required. You could be just out of high school, have a high school degree, and have that attention to detail and willingness to learn and good organizational skills. And
you need to have phenomenal organizational skills.
This is a job where you can be making 6 figures within just a few years.
It's true.
So apply today. I mean, what other path is there where you can go from
if you're
an
good,
entry, 50, 60,000 to 6 figures in a few years?
Yeah, if you're good at what you do, like you earn your keep, absolutely. And talk about job security. AI is not taking that position.
No.
Let's be real.
No, but I am trying to train it to help. For sure.
Oh, absolutely. Helping, for sure. Guaranteed. Yep. A must in that position, but it's not a takeover. It is not a takeover. I mean, that's what I'm excited right now. Like, we're adding new team members all of the time with excellent team fit. So it's really fun to see our little baby grow and really take advantage of this whole market and just see, what else can we do? How else can we service the exploration demand?
But the big bonus of the job is you get to work with Pepper.
If she likes you.
If she likes you.
She
likes most people.
She likes everyone on the team.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you like about exploration?
The dynamic. It's a dynamic job.
Dynamic job.
Yeah. I mean, I am overseeing people because I have 3 jobs, right? People, culture, finance. Finance is great. We're solid. We're happy. We're doing good. We're smart. People, I have to make sure that my current team has the resources that they need, and if they don't, I need to go figure out how to find other people, which is what I'm actively doing right now.
Right.
And then culture is keeping a touch point on all of my team to make sure of like, hey, if you're not doing okay, we need to chat, which I'm in the middle of my quarterly one-on-one with the entire team, so now's a good time to do check-ins with the geos who I haven't seen in about a month because they've been out and about.
Yes, they have. Yeah. They've been very busy. Very, very busy.
Right.
Yeah. So aside from a permitting specialist, and that's what we're calling the job, but once again, you don't need to be a specialist now. You need to have attention to detail and organizational skills, and you can train to become
a if you have ArcGIS, that would be very preferred.
That's very preferred. And a lot of people do. But we're also hiring field techs always.
Always field techs.
Which is a chance to make a few $100s a day.
We pay $300 a day, all expenses covered. So you literally just show up and then you collect a check once the project's complete.
Got to be willing and ready to hike.
Hike your butt off.
And do good work and be good outdoors and make smart decisions and be a good team player.
Be safe.
And have a very strong safety culture.
Yep.
And we're always looking for good geos who are A players.
Yep. It's a great summer program. And if you're a geologist in training, coming and doing like a summer gig with us is phenomenal experience because you are going to see, you're not going to just do one thing. You're going to do maybe a soil sampling program for this one commodity. Then you'll do maybe assisting with a drilling program for a different commodity. I mean, maybe you'll assist with helping write a permit. Maybe you'll help, you know, draft a proposal or something. Like there's all kinds of things that you can learn.
If you just did a summer kind of internship with us on a contract basis, you would be, I would say, likely to work on 5 to 7 different projects in that time period.
Yeah. And not only projects, but commodities too.
Yep.
Which is what, if you're a geologist and you're not quite sure if you want to like go really niche into
Do
a
I
field.
love copper? Do I love gold?
Right.
What about industrial minerals?
Right. I mean, come hang out with us and we'll give you a spectrum and then you can decide. I mean, having the opportunity to work on multiple commodities, I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I mean, talk about opening up your horizon. So we just hired a senior geologist. It'll be our second senior geo, what I'm really excited about. But he applied for our position because of the dynamic of the job. You know,
Right.
they get stuck in one commodity doing one thing, and that's like all they do. And he's like, I just want to learn everything because I don't know what I don't know. And I just want to figure out or just have the experience across the board and maybe not specialize in anything, but learn everything.
Right.
Right. So it's like, hell yeah, come on board. Like,
Yep.
like we are your people.
Yep.
If that's your game, then Burgex is your company because you're not going to get bored. You're not going to
Right.
get stuck in one commodity. You might be in one commodity for like 6 months
Right.
while you're working on a drilling program or
Right.
a year, right? But you'll probably, chances are, you're going to be juggling a couple of others.
Yep.
So it's
Cool.
cool. It's exciting. I mean, that honestly is what I love about it, is just, it's like this juggling act, but you know, keeping the culture is key. And we have such a freaking great team that it's just, it makes it easy. They just make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's still work. Like, you still have to kind of.
Oh, I'm doing 12-hour days.
But yeah, yeah, they make it easier. Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of excited to kind of slow down on the running so I can have more time in the office, but also I got to get back into the running regimen so I can have more energy for the office.
Regimen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Consistency, it's key.
consistency is key. Any more mining news?
No, we are going to do a teaser. So
Yeah, we'll do a teaser.
let's do a little teaser. So,
Yeah, so-
in December, you wrote a 2026 outlook of the market, of where you think 26 is going to take us. So we are
Yep.
almost halfway through the year. In July or probably August, we'll do a formal comparison to what you predicted and what has happened. But give us a little teaser of where we're at now.
Accountability time. I made some predictions. I made an outlook for the year. Now we're doing kind of a third of the year check-in. It's not quite mid-year. We'll do a full mid-year check-in, but I wanted to see where we're at.
Yeah.
So the macro theme for the whole outlook was the great pivot from globalism to sovereignty. Globalism. Globalism to sovereignty. So I predicted a structural shift from a globalized supply chain to resource nationalism, friendshoring, domestic processing mandates. AI dominance becomes a sovereign priority. Obviously not a bold prediction or crazy out there. I think a lot of people see that coming, but largely confirmed and ahead of schedule. The U.S. convened 50 nations at a critical minerals summit in February. The Defense Production Act was invoked for domestic refining in April. Potash, silicon, copper, and silver were all added to the U.S. critical minerals list. And then once again, we have these huge data center projects that are driving the AI side. So we nailed it on that one. Construction aggregates, the great divergence and the K-shaped market. This one seems to be a lot more measurable because aggregate projects can spin up and slow down a lot more nimbly than big metals projects.
Oh, yeah.
So we predicted a bifurcated market, bullish for producers near data centers, big projects, and bearish for residential and light commercial. And I predicted that peak IIJA funding, Infrastructure Jobs Act funding, which is a huge infrastructure bill, would peak this year. Strongly confirmed so far. It's tracking almost exactly. Aggregate M&A transaction multiples have averaged a 9.4x EBITDA year to date. So very good return, good multiples. That's quite a bit above 2022, 2023 levels. So pricing power is concentrated in infrastructure and data center markets. Martin and Vulcan are both up 19 to 20% over the last year in their share prices and company value. strong earnings per share outlooks. And so this call was precise. The producers positioned in growing markets with highways and infrastructure and big mega projects are doing great, and data centers, and then the rest are just kind of tapering or just bumping along. Industrial minerals, we projected that copper was going to enter 150,000 metric ton deficit this year. We predicted a lithium supply gap, rare earths with processing choke points, nothing new. We've seen a premium, particularly in the capital markets and funding of projects for US-based projects, a premium over other ones, particularly in rare earths and critical minerals. The projects that are here in the US are getting a lot more value and a lot more investment than elsewhere. Copper's up 28% year over year since I did my prediction.
Wow.
The 150,000 ton deficit appears to be materializing in price action, and further delays in Grasberg and elsewhere are bolstering that. Lithium is one where we kind of missed. It hasn't quite gone up as much. It has increased in price a fair bit since I came out with my prediction, but there's no dramatic spike or anything. They've just been kind of creeping up and bumping along. But structural deficit concerns do remain valid long term. Metals, aluminum's up 44% year over year, confirmed across the board on my metals outlooks. Copper, record highs. Steel is up 26%. Gold, we call the permanent floor at around $4,500 based on central bank buying to backstop it. We're holding above that now, so that's pretty good. Prices are elevated. It's climbing back up, but because of the Strait of Hormuz, which materialized after I came out with this outlook, countries like Turkey, for example, are selling their gold reserves to buy energy that's more expensive, to import oil from other places, and to prop up their currencies. So we're seeing some central banks selling, which is driving gold and silver down recently, just in the last month. But that $4,500 floor is still holding. Goldman reiterated their price target for the end of this year, $5,400. So I'm actually a little more conservative than Goldman on that. And despite their name, they typically do not like gold. Silver's still in its 5th consecutive year of supply deficit. Industrial demand is above 700 million ounces. So silver's still going. I think we haven't seen the top price of silver yet this year, but I think it's definitely not going to start climbing again dramatically for probably a month or two. Energy, I predicted that AI data centers were crashing into a fragile power grid. Uranium and nuclear are going to be re-rated as strategic assets, obviously bullish for copper and aluminum as energy metals. This is the most visible theme of 2026, probably the single biggest story that we highlighted. The Box Elder Stratos project that you referenced earlier, they're proposing 9 gigawatts of power consumption that they're going to generate on site. Obviously,
I
over
saw
all the
7.5 to
phases.
9. Yeah,
So,
a lot.
and that's natural gas, which is great because we have it. But SRMs are moving forward. There's permitting reforms in nuclear moving forward. That is a teaser. I'm not going to go through all of it. We will do a deep dive episode in July probably, and break down where we got it right, where we got it wrong, and have a chance to revise our outlook in a second document for the rest of 2026, because I think it's something we should probably do twice a year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Thank you for that.
Got it.
Pretty spot on.
Pretty spot on. I mean, obviously, a lot of that's writing on the wall and pretty obvious, but I actually did put down some predictions, and now I can be held accountable for them. So
Let's see how you do.
see how I do. Next week.
Next week's going to be a good episode.
Yeah, I think it might be underground if we could swing it. I think we have enough lights. We could probably just make it work without bringing too many.
It might be a little dark, but the content will be good and the lights will be interesting.
You know, if we bring that giant Jackery power unit and just get 110, 20 feet of extension cord, we could totally just throw it down the shaft and film.
Oh, actually, I bought a really nice light at Costco that I can bring.
Do you know the small...
No, we're in the world of battery. We're good.
The small Jackery, the little one, will power both these lights.
I think we have a solution. That'll be
We just
fun.
need chairs, but we can sit on the ground. Not afraid of that. Or walk around and look at the rocks.
Either way, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting.
You might get to see this again and see some of this.
You might see bigger UV lights.
And more Scheelite.
What, the Scheelite?
We'll see if it happens. Maybe we're teasing it for nothing, but I bet we do.
I think
We'll
we
just
can make
put it
it
on your list to do.
It's on my list.
Blue will remind us. He gets cranky if we don't do what we say we're going to do.
It's true. He is the accountability master.
All right, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends. We really appreciate it. And it motivates us to keep being consistent.
That's right.
See you next time.